Shalom Aleichem and welcome back to Biselleh Torah. This week we are reading the Parsha Bamidbar, Numbers. And the book of Numbers is essentially about that. It's about a census that's taken. One of the questions, however, that arises early by the Midrash is questioning why the Bible, why the Torah was given in the desert. Because actually the word Bamidbar means in the desert. It doesn't mean numbers or census. Why was the Torah given in the desert? On a lowly mountain, nonetheless, in the middle of a vast wasteland. And it provides the following mashal, the following parable to explain it. When a horse goes to drink water, it lowers its mouth towards the water and then sees its own reflection back reflected into its eyes, and then with its hooves stamps the water to chase the other horse away. And then it drinks the water. But because it stamped its hoofs in the water became muddy, and it's as a result drinking less than clean water. Says the Midrash, it's like that in the desert. The desert is a no man's land. The desert doesn't belong to anybody. The desert is something that wouldn't be wanted by anybody. And that's why the Torah was given there. So nobody would look at his neighbor or her neighbor and say, you've got more than me, I've got more than you. But rather it was a place where everything was equal. Everything was, as it were, the same. Nobody would feel that somebody else was impinging upon what they had. And a question to consider, why is it sometimes that when we really get angry, the cause of our anger is because we feel that someone has taken advantage of us? When we've been overcharged by someone for something that they've done for us, or just taken advantage of in some way. Why does that create such ire, such anguish in us? It seems that a lot of life is about competition. It's about who's at the top of the pile. I remember seeing a bumper sticker many years ago on a car that read, "He who dies with the most toys wins." And although it was a sarcastic comment, there's an element of truth to it. We look over the fence and peer at somebody else's possessions and house, and we want what they have. And I think this is also the essence of Lashon Hara, of gossip. What's wrong with gossip? Gossip is a way of spreading news. Did you know about Dolores? Did you know this? Did you know that? But it has an insidious nature to it. There's a darkness to spreading rumors and gossip, even if it's true. Because much of the time when gossip is being spread, it is purposeful, as if to say, I would never do that. That would never happen to me. And somehow elevating ourselves or feeling ourselves elevated against somebody else's loss. And I think Bamidbar is a lot about that, this parsha. When the census is taken, God says, Su'u, raise up each head. Now that raise up each head is usually translated as count every person. But that's not how it really renders into the English. Every person counts, every person matters. Raise every head. From the water carrier to the richest merchant, it makes no difference. There is a broad sway that cuts across all humanity, that we all are of equal value. Truth be told, there are some times when we are outstanding because of our abilities and of the need of the moment. They rise to the top. And other times they belong to someone else because of their abilities and the necessities of the moment. But every person has his place. Every person has her own place and her own moment in time. Later on, just a couple of parshiot later, Moses' cousin Korach makes the following declaration. He says, Kulanu Kiddushim. All of us are holy. Every single one of us is holy. Now, while he had something else in mind, while he said that, it speaks a great truth, that the value of another human being is equal to our value as well. I wonder if you've ever heard the expression, you're either for me or against me. You're either for it or against it. What a terrible conundrum to be put in, that we're forced to choose between polar extremes. When that happens, we make choices that are somehow wrong-minded, because we realize that when we choose the far right or the far left, when we choose one over the other, we're deciding the value of one over the other. As the Midrash and the Mishnah says, every person has his moment. And we need to recognize that. But all life is not one or the other. All life is not damning of one person and the elevating of another. And I think that's what the Parsha Bamidbar comes to tell us, why the Torah was given in a desert. Perhaps the next time we hear words being spoken out of our own mouth or someone else's mouth that put down another human being, take a moment and realize what we're really doing, what is happening at this moment, degrading ourselves by degrading another person, or listening to the degradation of another person at their potential expense. Shabbat Shalom.